Hey everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm on today because I'm going to take a look at just a grab bag of insurrectionists. I've been trying to, sink into their energy a little bit before getting on here. Just thinking forward as to what's going to happen with this commission. At some point, probably before the next election, they're going to put out the report, right? Because the whole risk is that after the next election, the House or the Senate might flip and be back in Republican hands. And of course, they're just going to shut everything down. So, there's a lot of pressure on this committee to get a report out there by, before the election. So that's, pretty quickly. So sometime next year. But once that report comes out, then what? It's just going to be a report. I don't think that they're necessarily going to be indicting anybody for those crimes, arresting anybody, doing anything like that. It's going to continue through this process. I guess it would be the Attorney General's office would decide if he wants to go out and start really arresting people for actual insurrection, not all these random lesser crimes. So, just trying to think ahead through that whole process. And, this could still take a few years. This could be well into a Republican control of the House or the Senate for them to interfere with things. There's a real chance that everybody could get off scot-free here. And that would just really be a travesty for the nation. So how is this going to keep going through the next election if Republicans take one of those two houses? And, there's a whole bunch of players, right? A whole bunch of insurrectionists. And I want to take a look at some of these today. I'll try and get through as many as possible. I'm going to start off with Josh Hawley. I'm going to start off with Josh Hawley and his fist-pumping support of all those people trying to break into the Capitol. He's kind of laying low right now. But let's see, because, I just want to know, what are these people's outcomes at the end of this whole process? Pass the report, pass whatever the AG wants to start doing. Once repercussions kick in, right? It could be anywhere from indictments and arrest. They get charged with something, heaven forbid. Maybe they lose their seat, they get voted out. Does the House or the Senate actually want to try and remove members? I don't know if that's ever been done before. Do any of them quit? There's a whole, maybe censure, right? There's a whole lot of things that could happen to these people outside of being tossed in jail. So I want to see if the cards can tell us what these people's outcomes are going to be, starting with Josh Hawley. So, Josh Hawley, I'm just going to do quick little spreads because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 guys I want to get to here. So for Josh, 9 of Pentacles, the Hanging Man, and the Knight of Swords. Excuse me. So for Josh Hawley, we're starting off here with the 9 of Pentacles. So, he, dare I say, was feeling his advantage, right? He was feeling his entitlement. So this is a guy who comes from a lot of wealth. He's got a lot of money. He's an elite. He's one of the rich guys, and he just, these people have a huge sense of entitlement. So he just thinks everything should be coming to him, that it should be easy. He should be holding all this power. It's kind of like he's up here and there's the little guys down there. And those little guys in this reading, from my interpretation, would be the Trumpsters, right? All the guys who came to the Capitol and put themselves at risk. This is that upper level of people who do the directing, do the bidding. I'll call you together and organize you and tell you what to do. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put myself at risk. I'm the money guy. So I guess what I'm saying is, you know, he feels like one of the money guys. He feels like one of the power players in this situation. Kicking a lot of money maybe towards the organizing of this as well. His challenge here with the hanging man is he's had to remove himself from the scene. He's had to kind of lay low, be inactive, you know, kind of turn into a bump on a log, not draw any notice, not draw any focus. This is kind of where he's at, but this is a challenge to him. He doesn't like that. You know, the day of, these guys were proud of what they were doing, right? He wants to be out there rabble-rousing. But the hammer of the law is starting to pound on some folks, so he's laying low. He's laying low, being quiet. Nothing to see here, folks. But he's itching to get out there again. And here we are with his result with the Knight of Swords. So, gosh, excuse me. So you could see with the Knight of Swords and this eagle up here in the sky here. I think this is them coming to get him. The law, see that sword? That's the law right there. They're going to, no matter how far and wide they need to travel, no matter what mountain peak they need to climb, this eagle is telling us there's this American sense of justice and democracy. Those are the ideals that are going to be there, that are finally going to drive this process far enough where, yeah, looks like they're going to come get him. The law is going to be searching for him to hold him accountable. And again, with that eagle, this is all those American values, right? That we're just, you know, going to take the traitor down. We're, you know, have to protect our democracy. Just justice for all, the whole shebang. So for Josh, I would say that, yeah, he wanted to be a big player. You know, he wanted to be someone who counted. He wanted to be, you know, the star, throw money at this, throw his power around. Now he's feeling like he's in trouble and he needs to kind of lay low, pull back, you know, disappear. But eventually, and I do mean eventually, I don't see this as happening anytime soon, but eventually they're going to catch up to him. The law will catch up to him because those who care about our country and care about democracy will make sure that that happens. Okay, so that's Josh Hawley. The next one I want to talk about is Jim Jordan. We've all seen his nice little texts to Mark Meadows rolling around on TV these days. And I mean, you know, with all of these guys, one thing they all have in common is they were screaming about a fraudulent election before any votes were cast. I call them the insurrectionists, not because of just what they did that day, but because of all their behavior leading up to. They were screaming fraud. They were saying Biden didn't win. They were saying Trump is still president. They were telling people to fight like hell for their democracy. You know, they were telling people, don't accept the lie, right? Don't accept this fraudulent election. Save your democracy. Save your, you know, don't let Biden cheat. So they were stoking this. You know, they were stoking it for months and months and months and months before one vote was cast. So Jim Jordan is certainly one of those. And how is Jim Jordan going to fare? So we're starting off here with the Ten of Wands for Jim Jordan, which means that he is feeling pretty burdened right now. He's feeling a weight, a load upon him. And it's probably just because these emails, these texts are flying around the media right now. The focus is on him. You know, he's feeling the attention. He's feeling really burdened. Yeah, he's not happy. His challenge is the Chariot, which means that a lot's going to be coming at him really fast. He can't just sit back and hope this fades away. More media, more questions. They're probably going to call him in for a deposition. Things are going to be rolling really fast for Jim Jordan. He's going to be feeling a little out of control. In the end, his outcome here, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Interesting. I'll have to put a little clarifier on this one. Because normally I would say, he's going to be looking at a lot of funding, a lot of money's coming his way, right? This is a war chest. But, does it really mean that he's going to make out financially for this? My other thinking is no. I think these are votes. These could be just the votes that come in for his opponent. It could be the indictments, the evidence piling up for him. So let's get a little clarifier card. Page of Swords. Okay. So the clarifier for this is the Page of Swords. So this is, to me, is going to be like the cops, law enforcement is coming knocking at your door. Start of an investigation, start of a trial. Some legal maneuvering is starting to take place here. So this would tell me these might be all the rest of his text messages or his documents, his PowerPoint presentations, all the evidence is going to be gathered together in order to start pursuing legal remedy against Jim Jordan here. So I'm at least seeing that the law is going to start rolling his way. Investigations, lawsuits, subpoenas. That's what this is. Especially, I would say especially subpoenas due to the juvenile nature of the page here. It's not necessarily so far along in the process. So yeah, it could be just them accumulating their evidence or accumulating the questions they want to ask him, and then they call him in. They call him in to talk. Long term, he's looking at lawsuits, investigations, things like that. Okay, next insurrectionist on the list is Rudy Giuliani. Rudy. He gets himself in so much trouble. Rudy, I think, a lot of different things are happening for Rudy. He lost his ability to practice law, thank goodness. His son just lost his bid to be a governor or something like that. He's really tied up in the Ukraine shenanigans that were going on with the president of Ukraine and trying to get Ukraine to say they interfered with the election, that it wasn't Russia. And Ukraine was like, no thanks, you can keep your funding for weapons, which of course they ended up getting once the gig was uncovered. Giuliani, sued by Dominion for wads of money, and he just doesn't seem to be doing well, right? He's like shaving in airport bathrooms. Okay, so how's things going to pan out for Rudy? Ooh. Dang-a-lang. Okay, so right off the bat, boom, there's the devil. He's in trouble. He's going down. Devil's taking him. He's lost it. Probably lost his mind. There's some things going on, right? There's addiction issues. We know he's drinking. We know he's erratic. We know that he is probably the one who came up with the whole just say you won lie that, Trump's pushed, right? This guy, he's in big trouble. And what's his challenge? Justice. Yeah. So, he's obviously going to be challenged by the law and the judicial system, and it's already started. He's being sued for $1 gazillion. Justice is going to come for him. He's one of the primary insurrection. It was like his plan. Just the concept of it, the idea of it. supported Trump all the way. Yeah, and then the whole Ukraine thing, justice is coming for this guy. And here we are with the Page of Pentacles. So, yeah, lots of evidence. They're going to have a case against him. I think he's going to be called to testify, but he's going to have his own case against him as well. Yeah, interesting with these pages showing up. Okay, so that's Giuliani. Okay, so the next person on the list is Don Jr. So, you know, Don is not a senator or a congressperson. I get that. He's a public individual. But he is the son of the president, and he is just gross. Screaming, you know, trying to gather, God, what was it he was trying to gather? People to come and harass voters, you know, vote checking people. Come, you know, he was the one calling for Trump's army. For all these people to be Trump's army, amass for Trump, go to the voting polls, intimidate all the voters. Just really, you know, all the guns. And he also, him and Eric were doing a lot of things during the, oh God, what's that lady's book? During the, oh, the word will come to me. After Trump won and they had all the parties, the inauguration, okay? The inauguration. They were trying to do weird things with the inauguration, you know, raise money for hunting trips overseas to kill, you know, illegal animals, just all kinds of weird stuff. So he's spoken at the conventions, screamed at them. He's got a crazy girlfriend. He's probably addicted to coke. What's up with Don Jr.? Okay, Don Jr. How's he going to fare? Because I would call him an insurrectionist as well. King of Wands. Five of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. King of Wands. So, gosh. So I think this is saying that, you know, Don Jr., he did have a really big role to play here. He's kind of shown as a king, doing a lot of work. I think he had his toes in it and his fingers in it. You know, he was really stirring the pot. He was really influential. He really put effort into this. He was gung-ho on this bandwagon. He took part in, you know, took just part in instigating it, riling people up, getting people to organize, getting people maybe to arm, right? To think of themselves as defending this president, to think of themselves as an alternate military under Trump. You know, he was kind of in those sort of circles, calling troops together. You know, I think there was a lot of dealing with the militia groups through him. And just, you know, he played a high-level role in this insurrection. I think that's what this king is telling me. His challenge with the Five of Swords is that he abused his power, that he had malicious intent, you know, that he's a cheater and a schemer and a liar. You know, this is abuse of power. It's fighting with no rules, you know, no holds barred, no etiquette on the battlefield. It's just brutal, down and dirty. You know, you do what you need to do to succeed. So, yeah, and that's his challenge, right? Because he crossed the line. He crossed the line. He was calling for things that are illegal. When you try and get someone to, you know, fight for the president in their own military, that's illegal. You know, getting them to organize, getting them to plan. So his fingerprints are on, sorry, one second. Stop it, kitty. Yeah, he's got responsibility to bear here. His outcome with the Ace of Pentacles, it's always the single shiny object. So with the Ace of Pentacles, you know, again, could be a huge case, a huge file on him, you know, a huge case, a huge piece of evidence, you know, a smoking gun kind of thing. And with, you know, I'm just looking at the stag here and the forest and the animal elements that are on here. I'm getting pulled towards hunting. I don't know what hunting would have much to do with the insurrection. Maybe it's just the guns. There might be a gun tie here. Just one moment. So yeah, that's a kind of, I think that's the link that I'm following right here, is there might be something with him, sort of with the militias, with the guns, with the weapons. Maybe something around him calling for people to arm themselves. You know, something in this nature here. As far as a long-term outcome for him, you know, this great big upside down pentacle tells me that there's some big case, some big piece of evidence. There's something big that is going to be pointing to him that he's going to have to deal with. I would say, though, you know, maybe I don't see jail or imprisonment here, not in this open forest. Okay, so that's Don Jr. Let's go back to Congress and the Senate, and let's take a look at Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, the least liked member of the Senate. Nobody likes Ted Cruz because he's just so smarmy. Ted Cruz. And, you know, I've seen plenty of footage of him as well, just screaming about how this election was fraudulent before a vote was even cast, about how people need to get together and fight for Trump, how they need to stop the steal, right? And stop the steal. Basically saying Biden stole the election, and to stop Biden stealing the election, right? Give the election back to Trump. Stop the steal. That's what he was all about. All about. Oh, and let's not forget him running off to the Caribbean when Texas was getting frozen over, right? Not well liked. How did he even win re-election? I don't know. Ted Cruz, what's going on with him? Okay, one more. Took a little card spill here, so let me straighten this out. Ted Cruz. Oh. Okay, so Ted Cruz is starting off here with the Four of Cups, which is telling me, you know, he's kind of hanging back. He's looking at his options. He doesn't like his choices. He's probably procrastinating on making a move. He's just kind of not making any decisions right now. He's not making any big moves right now. I think he's just kind of, you know, like this kid against a tree, just was, you know, nothing to see here, folks. I'm whistling Daisy over here. I'll look over there. I'm not doing anything. I think that's where he's sitting right now. In his own way. I mean, every time the guy opens his mouth, slime pours out. But for Ted, he's probably just, again, retreating, reevaluating, looking at what his options are. What does he need to be doing next? Procrastinating a little too. His challenge, here we go again with this Page of Pentacles, you guys. They keep coming up. These got to be either indictments, lawsuits, evidence, a smoking gun, a piece of evidence, something is coming for these guys, and this is his challenge. And here's his outcome, 8 of Swords. So this is the closest we're coming here towards a possible arrest and jail. But really the card, you know, is telling us Ted Cruz is his own worst enemy. Everything that falls out of his mouth is going to be used against him. It's his own deeds, his own actions that are going to ensnare him and bind him up. So that's why it's, you know, very often the card of arrest and confinement. So that's a possibility for Mr. Cruz. We got 2 more to go, okay? Next is Mo Brooks. Now, I don't know much about Mo Brooks except for he was standing on the stage opening for Donald Trump during the insurrection. He was wearing a bulletproof vest, so he was anticipating possible gun, what do you call it? Not gunfights. You know, he's anticipating people using arms, right? So he's got a bulletproof vest on. He's screaming at everybody, fight, fight, fight. You got to fight for your country. You got to fight to stop the steal. You got to fight. Let's not forget January 6th. You know, we now know it as Insurrection Day, but this was Biden's inauguration, you guys. This was, wasn't it the same day that he was, you know, sworn in as president? No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. This was the day they were certifying the vote in the Congress. Duh. That's what they were trying to stop. That was the congressional action that they were trying to stop. That's part of the law. Were you interfering with the work of Congress? So Mo Brooks. What is Mo Brooks's outcome looking like? All right, so Mo is starting off here with the Page of Cups. So I would say he's under some scrutiny. They're taking a look at him, but he's not feeling that it's very serious right now. He's just kind of taking it in stride. Maybe it's the early stages. Maybe they don't have as many questions as he was expecting, or it's in the early phase of it. They're starting to look, but yeah, I just get that it's a real, what's going on, what's going to happen to Mo is just starting. It's early. They're only just now starting to take a look here. What's his challenge? And we have the 5 of Pentacles. So, so the card is, you know, poverty and loss. You know, being kind of thrown out in the cold. So what I'm getting, kind of where I'm going, what I'm feeling from this is, you know, Mo Brooks's challenge is that he stepped outside of the confines of Congress, outside, you know, of the Capitol building, outside of his turf, stood on that stage and called for an insurrection. Again, he crossed the line. He moved out of his real sphere of influence. I forget if he's a congressman or a senator, but you know, he stepped out of that to take a political role that was completely a political action. This whole insurrection, this whole parade at the Capitol for Trump, right? It was all just a sham. He took a risk, I guess is what I'm saying. He took an incredible risk when he left the safety and security of his office and came out and spoke on stage to the rioters immediately preceding the insurrection. So I'm just getting the sense of like him on the stage here, that he was there. It wasn't, you know, like Ted Cruz and these others, it was all leading up to. They did a lot of garbage leading up to. This guy was on the stage, like opened for Trump, wearing a bulletproof vest, calling for them to fight. You know, that the focus was on him, the spotlight's on him, they got footage. He can't escape it. He put himself at risk doing that. And his outcome with the 7 of Pentacles. So this means that I think it's under review. They're going to be looking at him closely. This is a card of you reap what you sow, right? If you planted the seeds, you reap the harvest. So this is telling us that karma is going to come back for this guy. He sowed the seeds of discord, sowed the seeds of, you know, this insurrection, and he's going to have to reap what he sows. So, you know, this isn't as obvious as being surrounded by swords like Cruz, but the idea is karma. Karma's coming back for you. Okay, so that's Mo Brooks. And last, and very least, I think I want to hit Tucker Carlson. So I know Sean Hannity's really the guy that's always in Trump's ear, not necessarily Tucker, but you know, I feel like Tucker's got, he's getting himself in trouble. He's got some shady connections. He does have Trump's ear. He's a voice piece for Trump on Fox. He's got a lot of power with his audience, you guys. And he's just, oh my God, such a liar. Again, stop the steal. You know, Biden didn't win. It was a fraudulent election. Stop the steal. It's Antifa. It's black folks' fault. They weren't really Trumpsters. It wasn't all that serious. This guy lies. And I'm just wondering if he has any liability here. If anything's going to come out about Mr. Tucker Carlson and this insurrection. Let's take a look. Tucker Carlson. Okay, so we're starting off here with the Knight of Pentacles. And, you know, I'm getting this sort of a similar feeling again. This guy comes from big money. He's super wealthy. He's like in the Swanson family or something like that. Big money, big ego, big sense of entitlement, big ass mouth. He has this just super inflated sense of self-importance, and he just spews that all over everybody when he's on TV. He feels like he's one of the soldiers, one of the knights, you know, like he is in the war of, you know, in Trump's war against this election, he's a leader, okay? He's not one of the like the minions, the soldiers. This guy had a role to play. He was a leader. You know, he waved the banner. So this has shown us that his behavior was there. He was not impartial. He's not a journalist by any means. He just crosses the line, okay? He crosses the line, blurs that line between politics and the media. He's like a plant, like a spy. His challenge with the Seven of Wands, his challenge is that he's going to be defending himself. There's going to be a lot of accusations coming at him, a lot of criticisms of him, and he's just always going to be, well, not always, he's going to be having to defend himself, defend his job, okay? Definitely I see him defending his job here. How's the outcome with the King of Cups? Yeah, I kind of see him surviving it. You know, the shadow side of the King of Cups, he definitely does move in that shadow side. Instability, some delusion, and just not mentally all there. I think he is paranoid. He's a liar, a hypocrite. You know, he's just got a lot of emotional damage there that we all see all the time. But really, I think in this question of his outcome, I think he's going to ride it. He's going to ride it through. And he's probably not going to lose his position at Fox either. He's going to keep his chair. You know, no matter what turbulence is going on underneath him, the sun is still shining on him. So, yeah, I don't think Fox is going to let him go. I don't really see in this quick spread much of anything happening to Tucker Carlson. Okay, so that's going to be it for me today. I really thank you guys for visiting my channel, checking out my videos, and I will see you on Monday. Check me out on Twitter, or give me a like or a comment. And yeah, till then, have a good weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye.